All right, so out of that 2 quarts of goat's milk, I have this ball of cheese. It's probably about almost a pound. Um, I've been kind of pressing it into a ball. It has a consistency of almost like a feta cheese. There's a little bit of the whey in the bottom of there that I've been pressing out of the cheese. So next thing I'm gonna do, set this over here for now. I've been keeping this whey nice and warm. Pour it into this smaller container. This is that salted whey. Not quite hot enough. Crank up the heat on this a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reset this cheese in here. Try to melt it a little bit in the whey. And try to reconform it to more of a ball. I want it to be more like, almost like a mozzarella. We'll see how close I get. This is, something that takes some practice. And, well, our dairy goat just went into milk, so I haven't been really practicing. Cheese from a goat might be easier than cheese from a cow, or it might be the other way around. I'm not sure. So while that's warming up, I was going to go over there and say hi to Codemeister. Look at him. Won't you just look at him? He's a wild man. What's he eating?
Cracker.
He's eating crackers. What's that? Uh-oh.
Why? Since now you can't pay it online anymore?
Some places are being cool about collecting bills, and some companies are being jerks about it. I wonder who's gonna get money. Probably the one that has the most leverage over you, right? That's Big Red. So that Big Red rooster had like a really bad... He was about to die. He was really sick. And then Stephanie came along and really healed him. There's Big Red. He was on death's door. His comb was turning purple. He was laying down. He couldn't walk very well. And Stephanie gave him some kind of supplement and isolated him in a basket, like a crate, and now he's back to being a rooster, breeding with the chickens. Maybe we'll get a broody hen pretty soon. But that was like amazing. She's able to cure that rooster, because that was like, hopeful, but I had my doubts. That was sick looking rooster. Okay, that's getting pretty hot. So, I was thinking about like just setting this in. There's not quite enough in there. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is take it out of the basket and kind of just drop it in there. So now that ball of cheese is soaking in hot, salty whey protein. And so from what I understand, you kind of just let it be there for a few minutes while it reconstitutes. and it's gonna add flavor and texture to the cheese. We could have just eaten it like that. It was already tasty. Already spilt a couple crumbs over off on top of the table and picked those crumbs up and tasted them. It was good cheese. With a lot of this kind of stuff too, you gotta retool your flavor profile. Some people think that's impossible, but I know for a fact, I've done it myself. A lot of it's mental. And what you're used to might not be what you have access to. You know, especially in wilderness survival, wildcrafting, you know, what you're used to might not be a reality anymore. So get used to trying new things and learning to like them. Because I think that's part of our new reality. Get used to not having certain things and learning to like that, you know? Old habits. Might not be a bad idea to shed those habits if you can, or minimize it, decrease your dependency. Oh yeah, here's some taco seasoning. I had this taco seasoning in this jar, and I was cleaning out the garage. I had some old food reserves in there, and this got left out in the rain in a bin. The water filled up the bin. A little bit of water leaked into this jar. Just a little though, and then, but it clumped, and so I was able to take this taco seasoning, pour it out, and kind of sift through it, and turns out that it's still good. So what we're probably gonna do is put it in the oven, toast it just a little bit, bake out any of the moisture that's in it, clean this jar out, make sure it's nice and dry, and then we'll likely rejar it and have more taco seasoning. So this is working pretty good. It looks like I'm seeing kind of like sheen on the cheese. So we can get, there's like more of a sheen. A couple little chunks broke off of it. So I'm not sure how this is gonna work, whether I can fish it out with this spoon or if I gotta strain it back out one more time. But my hope was that it wasn't gonna fall back apart in here in this way. My hope was that the heat was gonna melt the cheese and kind of reconstitute it more into like a rubbery, more of a rubbery cheese. And I hear the more you work this kind of cheese, the tougher it gets. And at a certain point, it's like super tough, and it's like not the best. Yeah, so the cheese is getting real soft. All these little clumps that are breaking off are like kind of turning back to liquid. So I think it's been enough time in here. It's like really hot. So I'm gonna pull this back out and see if I can rework it.